Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to the third video of the new series that I'm doing where I interview people that have recovered from DPDR or existential anxiety. And I'm very happy to be sitting down with Mari today. Mari's a lovely girl that I worked with for a while, and she has an amazing recovery story to share with you guys today. So, yeah, I'm very excited to share Mari's story. So welcome, Mari, to this video. First
Hi,
of all, how are you doing today? Like, how are you feeling today?
I'm
And
doing great, thank you. Everything is going fine. I feel happy and at peace.
that's good. Can you maybe share a bit like what you were like doing in your life for the moment, like how life is for you?
I'm doing fine. Oops, the cat. Um, Everything is going fine. Like, I have a new job. I am working. I'm about to move to my own place. Right now, I am in the city in Guatemala that I really like. That is not actually where I live, but it's called Antigua. So I am traveling a bit. I'm visiting friends, and everything is doing well. I feel
Yeah,
happy.
that's good. Do you notice like traveling, moving to a new place, that that's still scary now, or do you just feel
No, not at all.
that's
It's
good?
actually very exciting.
Yeah, that's
I
good to
like
hear.
it.
Yeah. So, can you start off today by sharing a little bit about like your story with DPDR and existential fears and just kind of give us a short like overview of what you went through to start with?
Yeah, sure. Well, it all started by me having like a really bad anxiety, like panic attack. And after that, I had like 1 or 2 weeks of many like following panic attacks, like one after another. And then after that, like I started feeling that like this sensation of everything like not being real and starting to have like a lot of existential anxiety and having like a lot of questions, which I don't think I want to go like that much into like the specific questions I had. But like I was very scared and it was like one of the most terrifying experiences I've been through, and I was feeling like that, I don't know, like maybe 5 months, I think, like not all the 5 months like at the worst, but until I fully recovered. And yeah, I just was like very scared and very anxious. Like I was very confused. I really thought, or like I really believed that I was going to stay like this like forever,
Mhm.
or that there was no way out. And I felt very lonely as well, and that scared me a lot. Yeah, like I feel the thing that I mostly felt like during all that time was fear and anxiety. And yeah, after that, like when I started working with you, like that gave me a lot of hope. And just like knowing that I could speak with someone that had went through the same thing, because there was a lot of people like around me trying to help, but I didn't really felt that they understood what I was going through. And it was like very hard to me like to explain it to them, because it was like, yeah, all this fears and existential anxiety and all this, it's pretty hard to explain, I feel, when you haven't been through it.
Mhm.
And yeah, it gave me like a lot of hope to work with you and to know that I could talk with someone that had went through that and that was recovered. Like it gave me hope to know that maybe one day I would be also like recovered.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was very hard, but like just keeping consistency with the practices I had to do, and mostly the affirmations, and doing a bit of sport, being with people and all that stuff, like that really helped a lot.
Yeah. I want to ask you, so something that I think almost everyone that struggles with this like has is the belief and this full belief that you're never gonna recover from this. And I think that was something that I remember us talking about as well. And like looking back to where you are now, like how like what advice would you give someone that has no hope at all for their recovery in this moment because they're still like really struggling and they haven't seen much progress yet?
I think I would definitely say just trust the process. Like you won't see like progress from one day to the other. Like it's we all wish that it was that fast because it's very scary, but it's not. But that doesn't mean that you are not doing progress or that you are going to stay like that forever. It's like by little bits that you can even really notice until you are feeling like better after like 2 or 3 weeks maybe. But just like stay patient and trust the process. Yeah.
Yeah. If you could like go back to say when you were in the middle of it, like what would you tell yourself? What advice would you give yourself, or what would you just say to yourself?
That I should try and not be that negative and don't really believe like that voice in my head that was constantly saying that I was going to stay like that forever.
Mhm.
That just look at like around me and look at you, that I was working with you, that you went through the same thing and you recovered, and that I could do the same. Because for some reason I thought that everyone could recover but not me. Like if everyone was or had something special that made them recover and I couldn't. But that's not like the truth, that we can all recover and we all have that in us to do it. So I would definitely say that.
Yeah, I like what you just said because I think that's something everyone I work with says like I feel like I'm the exception, like the person that
Yeah.
cover. And if that is a thought that's in your mind, that the whole process can feel very hopeless. Um, but at the same time, I think it's okay to have that thought because it's not because that's what you think that that's also what's going to happen, which
Yeah.
in your situation proves to be the case.
Yeah, exactly. That I also wanted to say that even though if you have that thought, like it doesn't mean that it's going to be that way, because I had that same way of thinking like for a lot of time in the process, and it didn't like stop me from making any progress or getting better. Like now I am completely recovered, and anyway, like I had this way of thinking where I thought that I would never recover and I was feeling like very hopeless.
Yeah. In what way would you say that this process, because we talked a little while ago after were already recovered, and it made me super happy to see just how well you're doing and how like you bloomed open like a flower. Is that how
Mm-hmm.
I would say it? So like, how do you look back on the whole process today? Like, do you regret that it happened, or can you like find some wisdom in it? Like, how do you look back now to where you are today on what happened?
Well, I feel that it, even though it was like very scary, and it's not like I would want to go through that again, because I was like in fear and a lot like with anxiety and all that stuff, and it wasn't like a nice experience. Like after when I recovered, I had like I could feel something that I never felt before. That I was like I was very grateful just to be alive. Like I was very grateful to be bored, to be angry or be sad or just to feel any emotion. Or yeah, like what like impressed me the most was being so grateful to be bored. Like before I thought that being bored was something so bad, and that it was like, well, yeah, boring. But after that, like I would like really appreciate just being bored and being like at peace. And I felt like blissful, I could say. And that is something I wouldn't change, like having that feeling after the recovery. And also, I feel I learn a lot about myself, and I am like more aware now about my thoughts and what I'm thinking and what how it's making me feel, like my how my thoughts are making me feel. Like I am more aware of this, and this is also something that I wouldn't change.
Yeah, that's beautiful to hear. Is there any, like, has your view on life changed and have your plans in life changed? Like, if you would look at the person you were before the process versus now?
Yeah, I think I am like more at peace by just existing. Like I don't have that much anxiety anymore as I used to before having DPDR anyway. Like I felt that there was like so much pressure, like to do something or to be productive or to be like, I don't know, studying or having a great job or whatever. Like I don't feel that pressure that much anymore. Like I just feel that it's okay to just be existing and doing what I have to be doing at the moment. And
Mhm.
of course have plans and so, but since I was so fearful of just existing before, like now I am so grateful and I'm so at peace by just being. Like it gives me peace to just sit and, like, I don't know, observe what is around me, and that is something I didn't really appreciate that much before.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And yeah, and like my plans also changed a bit, like because of that. Like I before that I was like pressuring myself a lot to choose a career I wanted to study and stuff like that, and I wasn't really sure about what I wanted to do, and I did it a lot because of other people. And right now, like, I am starting to understand and get to know myself a bit better and know what I want, and just take my time to discover like myself, and it, like, yeah, trust the process and enjoy it also.
Yeah, well, that's amazing to hear. I'm gonna, because Mari is an amazing artist. She draws and she's like incredible. So I'm gonna link her. I'm gonna link your Instagram page in the description.
Okay, perfect,
Amazing
thank you.
what you make. I was just thinking of that. But yeah, so I guess like another question I have is for people that are like watching right now that are still struggling, still finding their way, what would you say were like the most important practices or things that you were doing when you were struggling that got you out of it?
I would say definitely spend a lot of time with people, like not trying to just be alone and like, I don't know, like keep on suffering. And so like I know it's very hard, but like put yourself out there and socialize a lot.
Mhm.
Um, the affirmations helped me a lot. Also, like when I started having like these kind of intrusive thoughts or I was having existential anxiety, like I would repeat the affirmations a lot in my mind. And I kind of still do them. Like I have a few that like kind of stick with me and
Mhm.
I like that. So that helped me a lot as well. Like the podcast you recommended helped a lot also
Mhm.
because it helped me like keep my mind distracted and listen to something that was interesting as well and give me some insight in what I was going through.
Yeah.
Also, like especially to for me, like going to dance classes helped a lot because during the dance session I just completely forgot about DPDR. Like I was listening to the music and moving my body and being like with people and socializing. I was having fun. And that was something that was like very hard to do, like having fun while having DPDR. But I could definitely have fun like while on the dance classes. So that was something that really helped me a lot. And also yoga, doing yoga was also very helpful. Meditating for me was a bit like hard because I found it like hard just to stay by myself with my thoughts, but
Mhm.
I know that it's very helpful for some people. But in my case it was like better to like have like moving practices like yoga and the dance classes and socializing.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. Um, and like, what would you say was the moment you felt like you really just started to get better, and what do you think changed inside of you to make that happen?
mm, I feel I started to feel less depressed because I was alive,
Yeah.
and I, for some reason, like started really to trust the process and feel at peace. Like I started seeing that I was like starting to feel less and less afraid. And just like at the first moment when I saw a little bit of progress, that gave me a lot of hope because I really thought that I was going to stay at that point like very bad forever. So when I saw a little bit of progress that like proved to me that I could make progress, so that meant that I could recover. So when I started thinking in that way, that I feel helped me also a lot to like speed the process up
Mhm.
because I was trusting and I wasn't like that's like afraid of staying like that I feel that was one of my biggest fears,
Yeah.
like just staying with DPDR for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And when I started like seeing progress, then I just started to trust the process
Yeah.
and keep on doing what I was going like what I was doing, all the practices and all. And I remember there was one day where before having DPDR, I used to like really enjoy to listen to music and like dance alone in my bedroom and stuff like that. And I wasn't doing that like while I had DPDR. And there was this one day where I was in my bedroom and I was listening to music and I started dancing. And that was like a moment where I really felt that I was getting better, because I hadn't done it like in 3 or 4 months, and I could like start dancing and enjoying it. And I really felt good that moment. Like
Yeah.
that gave me a lot of hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Did it feel in that moment normal again, or did you feel like actually really happy because you could feel that again?
Oh, I was like very, very happy. Like I never was so happy to do something that was so normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's starting to do all these like normal stuff again felt amazing, like doing them for the first time, because I really thought I had lost them all. So like like I said before, like stuff like being bored and stuff like that like really felt good and made me very happy. So I felt very happy when I could dance and listen to music again.
Yeah. Do you still do that today? Like, is it still as happy when you do it?
Yeah, I still like it a lot. I still enjoy it.
Mhm. I really love the fact that it seems that you've really continued to hold on to like the happiness that you got after, you recovered, because something I do see in people is that we take our happiness or our peace for granted sometimes, so that, we start to really go back to like worrying about the little things, or just going back to how we were before the whole process, instead of just really reflecting on, okay, what did I learn and how do I want to keep this inner peace in myself like for the rest of my life. So I really love that you are doing that. And I'm wondering, do you have like any like specific practices that you still do today, like that you also did in your recovery, just because they make you feel good? Or do you feel like you've just kind of went back to how you were living before, but just feeling a lot better?
I still go to the dance classes and yoga classes because I really like that.
Mm.
So I keep doing that. And I also keep like doing the affirmations. Something I forgot to say that I was also doing that helped me a lot was having like a gratitude diary.
Mm.
And I keep doing that as well because that makes me feel good. So like I think those are the stuff like I keep on doing,
Yeah.
and I still enjoy them a lot. And I feel they just help me to stay like more focused on like the bigger picture and not like the small things, and being grateful and happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. What do you think is the biggest like lesson you've learned in this whole process?
I think not taking my peace for granted and like my mental health for granted. Like it's not something we all just have forever and it's going to stay like that. I think that's something we have to take also like care as like we take care of our bodies, like we have to take care of our minds. And yeah, like appreciating and being grateful to be peaceful or to have peace, to feel good, to enjoy with the people I have around and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, and animals too, like because you talked a lot about people, but I remember that you were
Oh
always
my God, yes.
about animals.
Yeah, I know I forgot. I totally forgot about it. But yeah, during the process, like I found a little kitten. Like he was like as big as my hand. Like he was very, very tiny. And that also helped me a lot. Like just taking care of this little creature, like knowing he depended on me, and like not having all the focus around me and how I was feeling, but also focusing on helping the little kitten and wanting him to survive,
Yeah.
and like receiving his love and loving him, like that helped a lot.
Mhm.
And we still love each other that much. And
Is it
yeah,
this
that
one?
was
No.
no, it's not this one, but he looks alike. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is my friend's cat.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
helped a
that's
lot. And
great.
being like in nature, just walking around. I think I told you one time where I sent you a video from some chickens and a
Yeah.
rabbit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah, like
remember.
yeah, those kind of stuff also helped a lot. Like just being in nature and with animals,
Yeah.
because I just couldn't be afraid of animals. Like I have always loved them so much. And when I saw like the kitten or rabbits or the chickens, I just felt like joyful,
Mhm.
and that was great.
I've heard that from a lot of people, and I use that myself a lot, like to be in nature, because when you're in nature, it's like when you're actually in nature, like with trees, with animals, it's very hard to like feel like the world's a bad place, like to feel
Yeah,
like life is dark or scary, and because nature is just so peaceful and animals are so peaceful. They're not living in the future, they're not living in the past, they're not living in a zoomed out version of the universe. They're just here and now, and they're content and they're happy. And I remember
yeah,
that you talked a lot about that, and I really loved, like, I remember the story you told about the chickens, that was a turning point too,
yeah,
where you
yeah,
were in this nature reserve, and then you were like talking to me about like having seen the chickens and just being there and just feeling very like peaceful and not having DPDR like for the first time.
yeah.
For you saying that, it's just so funny how sometimes it's the really simple but beautiful things that have the biggest impact.
Yeah, totally. Like I still find it like funny that it was because of chickens. Like it sounds pretty funny, I feel,
That
but
is,
I love it. Yeah.
yeah,
As well, like I feel like walking barefoot on nature helped me a lot. Like my mom made me do this. Like she was like, you have to take your shoes off and walk like barefoot. And that helped a lot, like just to feel my feet, like feeling, like really focusing on feeling what I was feeling.
yeah,
Like if there were rocks or whatever, like that really helped as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would recommend that.
You should make a post on Reddit, like for people that are on there looking like my DPDR was cured by chickens.
Chickens, I know. Yeah, that's funny.
Just walk on your bare feet and sit next to a chicken.
The chickens, yeah.
No, I really love that. And I can find myself a lot in that because I think people sometimes look too far away for things when it's really about like turning back to being present, being in the here and now, connecting to life as it actually is instead of how your mind thinks it is. So, like being in nature, being with animals, moving your body, like letting yourself feel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just very happy to see like how many months has it been actually since you recovered now?
Now I think it's been like 5 months,
Yeah.
maybe already.
Did you ever have like a setback?
No, I
No?
didn't. No, not
Good.
really. Like maybe at some point I remember DPDR and I'm like, oh wow, that was very strange. And that can cause me like a bit of anxiety if I think too much about it. But not really that I felt it again or something like that. Like that doesn't happen. Just
Mm,
something like I said, like sometimes if I think like very hard about it, like that gives me a bit of anxiety, but I feel it's because it's like an experience that is so difficult to understand, but I feel I don't really need to understand it. Like I learned from it and I went through it, but I don't really need to understand why this happened and all that. Like those questions are like sometimes hard to answer at
mm,
all, like I feel. But I've been feeling great actually. Like
good.
always been going good. Like I have some bad days, but nothing compared to DPDR, like just sometimes like normally being sad or whatever.
Of course, everyone has that. Like that's just
Mm-hmm.
part of life. Yeah. Okay, so maybe like a final question is like if there's one last like if you could picture people because there's going to be a lot of people watching this that are probably really struggling still, like if you could picture them in front of you right now, like not believing that they can recover, probably haven't listened to this video and thinking, yeah, but I'm still different, I'm still not going to recover, or just people that really need to have some like hope, or just like what would you tell them?
I would first of all send them a big, big hug because I know how difficult it is and how scary it is. And I would tell them that they can definitely do it, even if they believe they don't. Like, they are going to prove themselves wrong
Mhm.
because I did. And I don't feel that I or anyone else who has recovered has something like really special on them, because we are actually all the same. We
Mhm.
all have the same willpower and the strength to do it. And yeah, I would just say, like, really trust the process, even if it's really hard. Like, be patient and try to do stuff that make you feel like better and love. Like, be with your loved ones and like look for help. Don't stay, like, keep it to yourself as well. Like, try and not to make it like the center of your life, like talking only about that. But if you need help, like, really just don't keep it to yourself and be alone that much. Like, socializing and being with other people, with animals, and moving your body, taking care of your body helps a lot as well. And I would say that also, I feel like mood follows action. So start and act like in a way that makes you feel better as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of hugs and love, because I know how difficult it is. And I really trust in you. And I think that you are going to be able to make it.
Oh, that's lovely, Mary. Thank you so much for doing this interview today and for sharing your really beautiful story. I wish you like all the best, and I'm sure you're gonna do amazing things. Everyone have a look at Mary's like art page. It's amazing the things she makes. She also makes t-shirts.
Thank
But yeah,
you.
okay, Mari. Thank you for joining today, and to everyone that listened, also thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, we'll see each other in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.